I will now turn to Kareem Sakka, who is editor of Rasif 22, which is this vibrant digital platform published out of Lebanon, out of Beirut, Lebanon. Lebanon, of course, is not a member of the G20, but that shouldn't stop us. We were looking for somebody suitable from Saudi Arabia, but of course that has proved to be quite challenging, mainly because of the lack of independent media. And we thought that Kareem would be very good for providing a perspective on, I would say, the state of the media, not just in Saudi Arabia, but in the wider sort of Arab region, and perhaps also tell us a little bit about the work that he's doing and the challenges that he faces. So over to you, Kareem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siddharth. I'm going to try and give you a good overview of what's happening in the Arab world. I'm Kareem Sakka. I published Rasif 22, an Arabic language digital native, and its 11th year online. We cover the 22 Arab countries with a focus on rights, freedoms of expression, and the public interests. In what is often referred to as the Arab world, our daily lives are quite different from our neighbors. In a nutshell, we mostly live with unelected leaders, deriving some legitimacy from foreign powers and some from religion. And between these sources, the people are actually crushed. We suffer from weak institutions representing the people and an even weaker legal system. This makes inequality journalism state enemy number one, much similar to Myanmar and Turkey. Only we don't manage to draw this same attention to our conditions as these countries do, and rightfully so. A bloc of 22 countries, the Arab world is inhabited by 420 million people who live under challenging circumstances and disenfranchisement. Arab regimes are some of the most oppressive in the world, with media freedom indices coming at the bottom of the list every year. In fact, large Arabic media are mostly state-owned or state-controlled. Newcomers are denied access to ad revenue, and the advertising business is just as rigged. We only wish we can have the regulation of advertising that they have in Turkey. Newcomers cannot compete with state-subsidized media. As you know, independent journalism becomes a form of activism once it veers from the official narratives. And in most of the Arab countries, we have an official narrative. We have a Ministry of Information still that tells the large papers what to write every morning. The Arab world is a very big part of the world. It has a rich part and a poor part, but they're both equally plagued with censorship, with self-censorship, and the patriarchy, which is another big villain stifling expression in all these 22 countries. The youth feel mostly marginalized. The sense of citizenship is lacking, and no matter in which country you poll, the dream is to immigrate to USA or to Europe. Some think Arab Spring came and went, and we have nothing to show for it. I disagree. Everything changed in the Arab world with the digital revolution, but we need more resilience and more change. Amongst the 22 Arab countries, Tunisia and Lebanon once stood out as more tolerant. Alas, both these countries are quickly escalating backwards. A new dictator installed himself in Tunisia recently, and born-again conservatives are having an upper hand in Lebanon, recently displaying most aggressive behavior on freedom of expression. Lebanon's changing fast, and dangerously so. Bloggers in the UAE are put in jail for blogging. The Bahrain has zero tolerance for any criticism and a fetish for jailing photographers now. Egypt, once the thought leader of the Arab world, is now the leader in jailing journalists. In Saudi, there are hardly any incidents involving journalists lately. That's because there are none around to be jailed. Last year, 196 people were executed in Saudi Arabia, some of them for what they said. 196 people. Covering Saudi affairs from inside the country is impossible. Rasif 22's experience in Saudi has ended in tears and blood. Jamal Khashoggi chose to write with Rasif 22. He was balanced and patriotic, sending positive messages about the future of the kingdom, evidently appealing to authorities. But he did not have an official permission to think or express his opinion. That was his real crime. Can you imagine how many Jamas live in Saudi today? How many men and women are afraid to speak out? Our current Saudi writers hide behind pen names, even when writing about entertainment and lifestyle. They're even afraid of receiving payment from Rasif 22 for the trace that a wire transfer might leave in their bank account. In July this year, Mohammed Al-Ghamdi, a school teacher, got a death sentence for disrespecting the king in a tweet. This served as yet another lesson for every person in the kingdom and sets the tone for years to come. Saudi utilizes the best censorship tools available in the market, thanks to imported technology. Saudi might be the only country that actually manages to censor Google search results, and AMP pages just don't show up. I don't know how they do it, but it's really annoying. This is in addition to very strong cyber farms that attack and control narratives on demand. Using a VPN comes with huge risk and hefty fines. Saudis have come to accept that the public interest is not for them to worry about and that they are subjects and not citizens. On the brighter side, Saudi sent positive signals in the last 2 years with a welcome push on music, the arts, and entertainment, which were effectively banned until now. A courageous and exciting statement was made last month by the Crown Prince on Hadith, which is sayings attributed to the Prophet from various sources. This signals a new and more tolerant Islam could be in the horizon. Hadith was used to stifle and control lives when the Quran was deemed too lenient or didn't address a certain issue. This is an excellent step forward towards a more liberal Islam, interpreted through a positive and inclusive angle. Are there glimmers of hope? Of course there are. Saudi is the de facto Arab and Muslim world leader today, and it has a big responsibility on its shoulders. Impressing on Saudis the importance of free speech and respecting human rights ought to be on top of every bilateral discussion. The Arab world should not be abandoned in favor of business dealings, energy sources, or political bartering. Media freedom is a pillar for stable and prosperous nations. Our people deserve stability and prosperity and to live under the rule of law. The Arab world is a promising region with great creatives and talent, and its people should be able to live in dignity and freedom and in their own countries, fully participating in shaping their future and that of their children. Freedom is a chance to be better. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Kareem, and for giving us this bird's eye view, not just of what's happening in Saudi Arabia, but the wider region. Very, very valuable.